You are watching Ask the Instructor. Absorb the knowledge. Become the expert.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Carissimo and this show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate every single Wednesday. We are here live to help you understand the technical side of the real estate industry, and one of those technicalities is completing your post-licensing renewal deadline. So we've got a renewal deadline coming up, and that's September 30th. Of 2022. So September 30th of 2022 is our next deadline coming up here. And if this is your first renewal, you have to complete 45 hours of post-licensing. Now, if this is not your renewal date, and we're going to talk about a bunch of different information here, how you find out what your renewal date is. We'll go over both how it's figured, as well as how to actually verify that with the state, with the DBPR, as well as verifying that whatever continuing education or post-licensing you need to complete is reported accurately at the DBPR, so that way your license doesn't go null and void, because that's what could happen to your real estate license. What will happen to your real estate license if your post-licensing is not completed by midnight on the deadline. They have a very hard deadline of that first deadline, and your license immediately goes null and void. And there's been so many people that have gotten real estate licenses and lost their real estate license because of not completing this requirement. So that's the number one reason why you should do this. If you plan to be in real estate more than 18 months, you're going to need to do post-licensing just to keep your license. But the thing I wish I knew when I got my real estate license is how much information in post-licensing is applicable to understanding how to run a real estate business. And so I've got the book right here in front of me for our instructor-led curriculums of post-licensing. And we're going to be diving into a couple of the topics even today about some of the stuff it is that you'll be learning about, because this, if you're wondering what to do with your real estate license, that's how I felt. Back when I got my real estate license, I didn't take this course right away. I waited right before the renewal deadline because I thought it was just renewal nonsense. But getting into the actual course, I was kicking myself, because if I knew that information when I got my license initially, who knows where I'd been today. But I'm here at least, and my story, based on my experiences, is don't wait. Because if you want to jumpstart your real estate career as quickly as possible, post-licensing isn't going to be the end-all be-all. It's not the one thing you need to do and all of a sudden you're making millions, but it's a step in that direction. Because you'll actually learn the fundamentals of what you do as a real estate professional and how to do them, the basics, so you could actually build upon those basics and build a successful real estate career, rather than feeling like you're just being thrown to the wolves when you get your real estate license. And, you know, a lot of brokers have training, but the training a lot of times is going to go right over your head if you don't have a firm understanding of these fundamentals. So we're going to be talking about post-licensing today, renewal requirements, the topics covered, and any other questions it is that you have. We are live on tampaschoolofrealestate.com, as well as Facebook, as well as YouTube. So again, if you have questions, drop a comment in there, or if you want to reach one of our advisors more confidentially, you can absolutely do that as well. Or if you have any questions specifically about enrolling, need help enrolling, call or text us at 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. We have advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that they can. So we're going to be back after this quick break. Stick with us. We're talking about post-licensing today. I'm John Carissimo, and you're watching Ask the Instructor. Have you completed your post-licensing education yet? Look, I know you're probably thinking, hey, it's not my renewal deadline. I don't need to do post-licensing yet. But look, here's why you want to do post-licensing as soon as you've got your real estate license, as soon as you're able to take post-licensing. It's not just another course about arbitrary laws that you're never going to use again. It's about real-world, usable topics that'll help you grow your real estate business, to help you take it to the next level. Look, let me ask you this one question. If this course helps you close just one deal, if you get one extra deal from post-licensing, is it worth the investment? I'd say it is. We get paid pretty well, so one deal means a lot of money. Check out postflorida.com. That's postflorida.com for the full details about post-licensing. All right, hello and welcome back to today's episode of Ask the Instructor. Let's go ahead and get the chats loaded up here. Again, if you have questions specifically about renewal deadlines, about post-licensing, drop those in the comments. But otherwise, welcome into everyone, wherever it is that you're tuning in from, whatever stage of a real estate career it is you may be tuning in from. You may be watching this today, not even having a real estate license, but maybe you're wanting to learn about the renewal so you know what you've got to do once you have your real estate license. So let's get into first things, the renewal dates, because ultimately this is what will ultimately end your real estate career. You know, maybe it's a little slow to start if you don't do your post-licensing right away. You could learn some things the hard way. I certainly did when I got started in real estate. But your real estate career will come to a screeching halt if this course is not completed by midnight on your renewal deadline. And so what is that renewal deadline? Well, let's talk about the next one we have coming up. And the next deadline that we have coming up here is September 30th of 2022. And so when would you have gotten licensed? If your renewal, your renewal deadline is this coming September. So this is our next deadline we've got coming up here. September 30th, 2022. And this applies for sales associates who just got their sales associate license, as well as brokers who just got their broker license. Because essentially, if you have continuing education due, the moment you get your broker license, it kind of resets everything. Because once you get your broker license, you're not doing continuing education for at least 2 years. Maybe at least 18 months. Not until your next renewal cycle, because you'll have 60 hours of post-licensing if you're getting a broker license. And we do have both instructor-led versions of that 60-hour courses. I believe we actually have in-person as well as live stream instructor-led courses where you can do that online. We'll bring an instructor to you, or if you want to come visit us here in Tampa, or if you're lucky enough to already be here in Tampa, you can come take the class here in person. Or we have a self-guided option for that. And post-licensing, same deal for the sales associates. It's only 45 hours if you have a sales associate license. So there's a post-licensing course you have to do as soon as you have your license by this deadline. And the deadline is going to be between 18 months and 24 months from the date you get your real estate license. It's either going to be September 30th or the next deadline after this, and we'll go ahead and do this date as well, is March 31st to 2023. So if your deadline is not this September, it might be this coming March. Because if you have not done your post-licensing yet, this date creeps up on you. Trust me. So let's talk about, again, the license date. So this is going to be between 18 to 24 months here. Same deal for this. It's always 18 to 24 months. But honestly, it's kind of confusing when you think about it that way. The way I like to think of it is that you go 2 years ahead and you fall back, which it's kind of a little bit backwards than what it is that we're looking at right now. So if we go 2 years back here, this means that the earliest it is that you would have got a real estate license would be October 1st of 2020. Is going to be March 31st of 2021. So if you've got your license sometime during this time, it's always a 6-month increment. Because look, and we could check this out. Because if we take this date and we go 2 years ahead, so 2 years ahead, let's do this in another color here. Let's say blue. So plus 2 years is going to be October 1st of 2022. Now, this is real easy because we're just falling back to the most recent deadline of September 30th, 2022. But let's see if I did this right here. Let's make sure I did this right here, because now we're going to go another 2 years ahead here. And so when we add 2 years to this one, it's going to be March 31st of 2023. And actually, I think it might be March 30th. Double check with your license, and I'm going to show you how to check the actual date here. I've got to look at one of the actual ones to see which way it is that you fall one way or the other. So we're going to look at the verification. If you're studying for your pre-licensing exam, this is what you need to know to calculate it for your exam. But when it's on like this cusp of the dates right here, I think it does default back to the previous deadline like we have it here. But like I said, double check on your actual license that you could verify with the DVPR. And we'll show you how to do that as well. That's what we're going to actually talk about next. We're just dealing in theory right now. So in this case, we don't have a deadline here. And actually we do. Technically, that may be it. And so we're falling back again to this deadline here. September 30th of 2022. So if this is the range that you got your license in, this should be your renewal deadline. And the way it is you could verify this, so we actually have a little screen share video set up. And this actually shows you how to verify your hours as well. And you don't have to have gone to Tampa School of Real Estate to go to that link, tsre.us/verify. That's going to give you a screen share that shows you how to log into your DBPR portal, view your license, and even view how many continuing education hours or post-licensing hours are logged on your license. And it'll show you the exact deadline. Because at the end of the day, the Florida Real Estate Commission doesn't care what the guy on YouTube said. They care about what's on your real estate license. Now, this should be the dates that are on there, but always verify that to double check. And always cross-reference that, because the one true source of this information is the DBPR, the state of Florida, the Department of Business and Professional Regulation. So that link will show you how to go right onto their website, log into your account, and where to find that information, because sometimes navigating government websites is not always the easiest thing. We try to help keep it simple. That's why we got that nice little screen share there. Now, let's talk about if your renewal's coming up in March. So the way this is going to work out is basically you got your license between March 1st of 2021 to September 30th of 2021. So this is your dates it is you've got your license. Between April of 2021 to September of 2021, then your renewal deadline's not going to be until March. And then so on and so forth as this goes out. Let's keep catching up so we can catch up to today. So in case you don't have your license yet or you just got it, you get an idea of when your renewal deadline may be. So when would the September 30th of 2023 deadlines be? This is the following year. So next September. This September is if you got licensed at all in 2020. So if you were licensed in 2020 and you did not do your post-licensing yet, your deadline is coming up here in September. So if COVID was still a big thing when you were getting your real estate license, you probably have a deadline coming up this September. Now, if you got licensed after this date, your renewal deadline might not be until March. And again, you could verify that by going to this link right here, tsre.us/verify. So that's tsre.us/verify. You don't even have to put in this HTTPS. I put that in there so you know that this is a website. tsre.us/verify. And that'll show you how to, again, actually verify this information as well as verify your continuing education and post-licensing hours. Because even if you complete the courses, even if those are reported, we do the reporting of your completion hours for you to the state. We actually report those directly to the DBPR, but sometimes there's transmission issues that we are not given error messages of. It's very rare that it happens, but it's a big deal when it does happen because your license could switch to null and void status. So that's why it's essential that you get in there to verify this, no matter what school it is, because any school it is that you go to, the only way to truly verify this information is you as the actual individual licensee logging into your account. That's the source of this information here. If you want to make sure you've got the most correct, accurate information, that's going to be through the Florida DBPR. So your September of next year is going to be if you got licensed between October 1st of 2021 just until the beginning of this year, which is March 31st of 2022. So if you got licensed before March 31st of this year, your deadline is going to be next September. And you might say, well, good, I've got plenty of time. But that's, again, why you don't want to wait. Because if you want to do anything with your real estate license and you don't want to just learn everything the hard way, that's why you want to get enrolled in post-licensing. And one more deadline to cover all of our current deadlines right now before we talk about what we actually cover in post-licensing is the March 31st of 2024 deadline. So that's the one we're working towards right now. Because this is if you got your license between April 1st of 2022 all the way over till the future of September 30th of 2022. So this covers all of our current renewal deadlines. So if you get licensed between now and September 30th, 2022, your renewal deadline is not going to be until 2024. But this course isn't just about a renewal requirement. Now, if you're coming up here in September, yeah, it's kind of about the renewal requirement at this point if you want to be able to keep the license. And now you might be saying, well, I'm not sure if I want to keep it because I really haven't done anything with it. Did you have the instruction manual? Did you have the instruction manual yet? Did you take the course on the instruction manual on how to use your real estate license? Because look, we've got two different books here. Two different books for the two different courses, pre-licensing and post-licensing. We've got a complete jumpstart package where you could get both of these courses bundled together. And the reason why we call that the complete jumpstart is because this is what you need to get your license, pre-licensing. It's a FREC required 63-hour course. You take this course, you pass your exam, and then that's when post-licensing comes in. The pre-licensing, this book is going to focus a lot on laws and rules, and that was what got me so jaded as a new agent myself when I first got my real estate license. This had me jaded about this post-licensing information because I thought this information was going to be just like this. I mean, look how similar these books look. Look how similar this is right here. I was like, oh no, this is what I got to do, this book? I don't want to do that. And honestly, look, and this is what's going to keep you out of jail and keep you with your real estate license. But this is the book that's more valuable for making you money. As long as you don't forget about the things that's going to keep you in business. Because if you do something to break the rules, well, that's going to put you out of business very quickly. That's going to eliminate your ability to earn income. However, this book is going to teach you how to earn income with your real estate license. So that's why the post-licensing is such an effective course to take as soon as you have your license, because the curriculum is literally designed for somebody who just came out of pre-licensing. Somebody who just knows the basics, who just knows the essentials of working real estate legally, to now, what am I going to do to actually make a business out of my real estate license? What am I going to do to make money, to put food on the table? How do I build a business to be able to serve clients so I could have a predictable pipeline of business? You know, especially like in markets we've been having, it's easy to just get your real estate license and stumble into success. But if you're watching this recording sometime in the future, and let's say the real estate market isn't as bright and glamorous as it is today, and some people might even say, well, it doesn't even seem that bright and glamorous today. That's where knowing how to use your real estate license is going to be so much more important than just simply having the license. You know, simply having the license, it's easy to stumble into success when everybody wants to buy real estate. And you learn about market cycles in this course and how to guide your business during different market cycles. And so there's so much fundamental knowledge that's in here that so going back to my story, when I first got my real estate license, I didn't take this course right away. I struggled to succeed, and what I did is actually paid for some 90-day boot camp mastery sales trainer thing, and it cost significantly more, probably 10 times more than what I paid for my post-licensing course. However, it's what I needed to learn how to run my real estate business. because I learned a lot of fundamental, essential concepts that made the difference because I was struggling to get started at first. But that's because I skipped this course. I didn't take it right away. And then my renewal deadline came along, and I already had figured out real estate. I already had figured out some success. So I was keeping my license. I was like, well, crap, I got to get this I got to get this course done so I don't lose my license. And then when I was taking the course, I was kicking myself because I was like, wow, if I knew this information when I got started, it would have changed the direction of my business significantly. And honestly, what I was really thinking in the moment was like, I can't believe I paid all that money for what I'm basically learning now. And one of two things. I either kind of overpaid for the same information through a different delivery that didn't even give me any renewal credit, or there was a lot of extra information that I just missed out on because I was so blown away by the basics and the essentials that I should have already known if I'd done my post-licensing course. And that's what, the farther it is, I don't know if I'm just simply forgetting, or the longer it's been since I've taken this, that's the more I realize what it is there were golden nuggets that I missed out on. Little tweaks, little $1 million tweaks that I missed out on, and all kinds of trainings that I've done in the past. And I know it's not exclusive just to post-licensing, but it's because of what I know now. Doing those same trainings, especially doing that higher level training that I did right away when I first got my real estate license. If I'd already done post-licensing, I could have took away so much more information from that course. Or you know what, maybe I wouldn't have. And maybe I would have said, I don't need to take this little boot camp mastery thing because I already know, I already have a successful business. I'm already closing deals. But maybe I could close more. And maybe there was information that if I already had established my business, I could have been able to close more. One of the things that's essential with building a real estate business is understanding how to manage time. One of the number one reasons why people get their real estate license is to be in control of their schedule, to be in control of time. And you can be in control of your schedule and you can be in control of your time despite what other people might tell you, what other naysayers may be out there saying, oh, this can't be done, that can't be done, don't you know about this, don't you know about that? Having a plan that you're following, that you're being intentional about, is essential to building a successful real estate business. And that's one of the first things it is that you do in this post-licensing course. So look, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're covering more about this post-licensing course. We'll be talking more about what's covered in there, but I want to go to the chat as well to find out what questions it is that you may have more specifically. Or again, if you don't want to ask those questions here in a public setting, you can always call or text us 813-333-2676 to speak with one of our advisors confidentially. But stick with us. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're going to love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com. Hello and welcome back to today's episode of Ask the Instructor. I'm John Chrismo, and this show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate every single Wednesday. Make sure you're subscribed. Put in your email at tampaschoolrealestate.com or hit the bell icon on Facebook or YouTube if you prefer to watch on those platforms. But if you give us your email at tampaschoolrealestate.com, we'll send you out email reminders so you don't miss any of this information. And again, we've got advisors available to answer any questions you have about your renewal deadline, about your renewal requirements, or if you haven't even gotten your real estate license yet, about getting started and how you could save some money with a complete jumpstart package that includes this post-licensing course with your enrollment. You bundle that together, it's going to get you your biggest savings. But anyways, let's get into the topics of what we're talking about today for post-licensing, about what information you actually learn about. And so going through this here, this is our instructor-led curriculum. And so if you're taking a classroom course with us in person, or you're doing a live online live stream class. So the live stream class, we don't require webcams. You know, I've been on Zoom calls before, and honestly, it's kind of awkward when we're all just like staring at each other's faces. And, you know, the thing is, if you've got 25, 30 faces up there on the screen all kind of looking forward, what if somebody's making a face? What if somebody's blowing their nose? What if somebody, you know, is keeps scratching themselves or doing something weird that is distracting you from the information being presented? And so we don't require no shirt, no shoes, no nothing required. You may know, if you're in Florida, you've lived in Florida long, you may know that Pasco County is actually one of the, let me actually look it up. Let me get the official statistic here before I go out saying Pasco County is this or that. Let me see what Google has to say about this before we put Pasco County on blast. All right, so here we go. Pasco County, Florida is the nudist capital of the world. Check Google if you don't believe me. And you might have lived in Florida long enough to say, yep, yeah, definitely, that sounds like Pasco County to me. But the point I'm getting to is here, you know, maybe you live in a nudist colony. No judgments here. That's why we don't make you put your webcam on. We don't have to see you. You could be watching our live stream in the nude, as long as you're participating in the live stream through the chat and the interactive aspects of it right here. We don't need to see you. We don't need to hear you. We just need you to attend the actual live stream. Now, if you want to come visit us in person, that's where we've got to, you know, fit society's norms, put some clothes on, and you know, we've got to, you know, be polite and whatnot. But if you're sick, you're coughing, you could do a live stream and no one's going to hear you. No one's going to see you. Don't fall asleep, because you do need to interact with the live stream on there. But otherwise, you attend this live stream, you pass the exam, and you'll get your renewal or credit. And here's one of the things about post-licensing. There's no state exam. There is an end-of-course exam, and your instructor is going to make sure you're prepared with the information you need to know to be able to pass that post-licensing exam. If you've already been able to pass the state exam, the post-licensing exam is a walk in the park compared to the state exam for getting your real estate license. Part of the reason why is we have a lot higher engagement with the content of post-licensing. People are a lot more interested in learning about what's in our post-licensing curriculum. Now, we do have people, especially when you're new and you want to learn about real estate and you want to ask some questions, but the laws and rules that are covered in your pre-licensing course are not as exciting as building a business plan. As you know, going down some of these topics in here, we've got prospecting for listings. What is prospecting? That's finding business. You might have leads already, but those leads are not clients until you turn them into clients. And so that's a prospecting activity. You might not even have any leads. You could use prospecting activities to generate leads. Pricing property to sell. You know, that's important in any real estate market. But especially as market dynamics change, it's essential that you know how to price property to sell. And you know how to convey that information effectively. You know, if the market is just shooting up nonstop, it's easy to, you know, just agree with the seller's price. It's like, oh, you want to sell it for that much? Okay, sure. And then you're surprised that you get offers that are coming in above that asking price even sometimes. But that's not a normal market. That is not something that's sustainable. And so to more appropriately price your property to sell, you want to make sure it's competitively priced while still being able to maximize the money that you're able to get in your seller's pocket. And being able to present this information effectively, that's the difference maker. And so in this post-licensing course, you learn a lot of different strategies. And like I said, honestly, if you want my recommendation, if you can make one of our live instructor-led schedules work, that's probably one of the best ways to get this post-licensing requirement done. Just because this information, if you even apply one thing that you learn in here to your real estate business, that's going to pay for this post-licensing course and probably then some. Just the fact that even one commission is usually thousands of dollars, the couple $100s you're paying to take your post-licensing course becomes insignificant when that course is an investment in your future, where this investment of a few $100s is maybe making you tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or even potentially millions of dollars. And maybe it's helping you make that money faster. Maybe it's teaching you things that you maybe would have never even learned had you not been forced to take a required course like this here. You know, your learning doesn't stop when you get your real estate license. That's just when you have a seat at the table. That's just when you're able to play the game. But once you're in the game, there's an entirely different guidebook. You went through the rule book. The rule book is what you need to be able to legally play, but the guidebook is what's kind of like the inside, like the cheat codes if we're talking about video games here. This is your inside access information of how to actually use your license effectively. Yeah, it's good to know how to stay out of jail, but let's say that if maybe you've played Monopoly before. Let's go to the board here, because maybe you haven't played Monopoly before, and so I'll give you a real quick rundown of Monopoly. So Monopoly, you're going around the board. It's one of my favorite games. There's a lot of correlations to real life, especially in real estate with that. Everybody knows the go. You get your $200, the money that's given to you, because it's got to get started somehow. This is all a cycle. Money is all a cycle. Life is all a cycle. It's all cycles. It's all revolutions. And then I think jail is right over here. But I think that's where you're just visiting jail. So you can kind of scoot by just visiting. But then over here, I believe over here is the go to jail. But notice there's only one space that's going to send you to jail. Or maybe a card sends you to jail. But going to jail is not something that should be your primary concern. It should be a concern, absolutely. And you shouldn't do anything that's going to put you in jail or make you lose your real estate license. But if that's all you focus on, you'll never be able to buy properties on the different properties, to buy hotels and whatnot, to be able to really win the game. Because you don't win this game by not going to jail. That's the point I'm trying to make here with this. If you've been struggling to follow me on the Monopoly analogy here, you don't win Monopoly simply by not going to jail. Because what's going to happen is you're going to land on somebody's property that has a house there, and you're going to have to pay them rent. And that rent could bankrupt you sometimes, especially if you don't have your affairs in order. Now, when you have your affairs in order and you've got all kinds of resources for cash flow, you don't have to worry about landing on rents or unexpected expenses, or if all of a sudden there's something unexpected from the chance card or anything like that. But the thing is, you can't even play this game until you pass this course. And this is an even thicker book. This is a longer course. It's a thicker book. It's got a more difficult, not even just end of course exam, but even state exam. There's no state exam for post-licensing, and that's because they're not trying to check to see if you know the rules anymore. They're like, all right, well, you kind of need to know what you're doing, so make sure you figure out what you're doing within 18 to 24 months. Otherwise, we're going to take your license away. And how do you prove you know enough of what you're doing? 45 hours of post-licensing if you're a sales associate. 60 hours if you're a broker, and you've got to do your broker post-licensing. So some of the other topics it is that you're learning about in here. Pricing property sale, making a listing presentation. If you want to get sellers, you need to have a good listing presentation. You need to be able to go in confidently and win business. Otherwise, you're leaving it to chance, and chance is not always kind. Very rarely is chance actually kind. You learn more about contracts in here. You learn about working with buyers. Let's see some of the other stuff. Some mortgage stuff. Writing and presenting the offer. That's a really good one to understand. And look, there's differences in the contracts and documents you may be using by broker, but there's fundamentals that are universal across the board. And that's what this post-licensing course kind of hones in on. How to use these rules of the contracts to your advantage to be able to negotiate as well as present these offers to your clients. So if you've been scratching your head trying to figure out what you do with your real estate license, how you figure this out, how do you actually make money with it, what do you do to actually get a deal done, and if you've been struggling to do any business, it might be because you don't know how. First step is admitting it. Understand that the Florida Real Estate Commission, all they have to say about you when you get your license is minimally competent. That's what you're deemed to be, minimally competent. And that's the short answer is why they require 45 hours of post-licensing. Because if you stay minimally competent, if you're not committed, to expanding your knowledge, they won't let you keep your real estate license. That's why they require you to get 45 hours of post-licensing within that first renewal deadline. And you can procrastinate about it, but if you put off this information, you're putting off your success. I know I did. And that's why I'm here before you today. And why I could so passionately speak about this is because this was a major shift. Getting this information was a major shift in understanding what I needed to do to be successful in real estate. There's still more learning to be done. I can't tell you how much more I've learned after this, so much more. I've taken all kinds of courses and classes because there's always more to learn. But if you need that jumping off point, that curriculum that's established and put together that's going to make everything at your brokerage make a lot more sense, it's going to make the contracts make more sense, it's going to make the clients make more sense, it's going to make your entire business make more sense. Because you're understanding it. You're taking action to understand not just what your business is, but how to optimize your business. So get enrolled in one of these courses. If you want to do a class in-person course with us, that seating is extremely limited, especially as we get closer to that renewal deadline. So reserve your seat today. You can reserve a seat in either the live stream or in-person classes with just a $57 deposit. The balance is due 1 week before the class starts. But you reserve that seat with just a $57 deposit. We can always transfer you to a different class date in case something comes up. But if your renewal deadline is coming up, you need to make a commitment to get this done. If you want to do something on your own schedule, you could do our self-guided program. And the self-guided program, it's an interactive, and especially if you have time to go through this here, because this is a really useful course, not just in terms of meeting the requirement, but useful also in the sense of having additional resources built in outside the course, things you can click to, links to different websites and calculators and tools and information that, again, is not necessary to pass the exam. If all you're trying to do is complete your renewal requirement, you really don't need to pay too much attention to that external information. But if you're trying to take away information to help you grow your business, all those little external links, especially if it's applicable to something it is you want to do or actually are doing, that's why that information is in there, to help you build a successful business. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for at the Tampa School of Real Estate, to help you find success through real estate. We're not just here to offer a course. There's plenty of schools out there that offer the required courses it is that you need. So we're not here to just simply offer the course. We're here to be the best source for those courses. And the determining factor on that is establishing yourself in the real estate industry. Look, pass rates are important for passing your exam, absolutely. But what structure, what framework, what resources are available to you once you have your license? And with Tampa School of Real Estate, they're bountiful. And we're constantly looking at improving ways to give our students additional resources. We've had students go on to get on TV, to get Netflix specials, to running their own TV ad campaigns, to billboard campaigns, to digital ad campaigns, to earning millions of dollars in real estate, even in a year. Now, results are not guaranteed at all in real estate. So just because somebody else has done that doesn't mean it's going to happen to you. But with the right information, aligning yourself with the right people, putting yourself in the right environment with the right information, where you take the right actions, it's basically limitless what you could achieve. If you want to get a Netflix TV special and put Tampa on the map as it relates to real estate, put Tampa on the Netflix, as they might say, you could do that. If you don't care about being on TV, you don't want an HGTV show or whatever the other networks are of all these other TV shows that students coming through Tampa School of Real Estate have gone on to do, maybe you just want to provide for your family. Maybe you just want to be able to take some cool vacations. Maybe you just want to be more in control of your life. It's different for everyone why they're getting into real estate, why they get the real estate license. Maybe you're trying to be that all-in top producer, or maybe you just want to earn some referral money on the side, just for referring business. You do need an active license to be able to do that. So look, we're here to help you. If you have questions, if there's any information we can help get you, any direction we can help point you in, reach out to us, 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. I want to thank you all for tuning in for today's episode of Ask the Instructor. That's about all the time that we have for today. We'll be back on Friday for State of Real Estate, but until then, have a great day, and I'll see you on Friday. Have you completed your post-licensing education yet? Look, I know you're probably thinking, hey, it's not my renewal deadline, I don't need to do post-licensing yet, but look, here's why you want to do post-licensing as soon as you've got your real estate license, as soon as you're able to take post-licensing. It's not just another course about arbitrary laws that you're never going to use again. It's about real-world, usable topics that'll help you grow your real estate business, to help you take it to the next level. Look, let me ask you this one question. If this course helps you close just one deal, if you get one extra deal from post-licensing, is it worth the investment? I'd say it is. We get paid pretty well, so one deal means a lot of money. Check out postflorida.com. That's postflorida.com for the full details about post-licensing.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.
You've been wanting to get your real estate license but have been struggling to find an instructor-led course that fits your schedule? I'm proud to introduce to you our on-demand, instructor-led pre-licensing course. Now you do not have to make a course schedule fit around your schedule to take an instructor-led course. This course is designed to be 100% video-based instruction. And this video-based instruction, even though this is pre-recorded video, still gives you the opportunity to engage and interact with the information to ensure your understanding of important key concepts so you're prepared for your end-of-course exam and state exam. My name is John Chrismo, and I'll be your instructor in this course, and I've been with the Tampa School of Real Estate for several years now and have helped personally thousands of people going through the licensing process. I'm excited to be your instructor throughout this course. Now, as you're going through the course, if you need help, we're just a click away. In the corner, you'll see a little yellow chat bubble where you can message our student support team, where you'll be able to get in touch with our team of licensed support professionals that have sales associate licenses, broker licenses, and instructor licenses as well. So you don't have just one instructor, you have a whole team of people from the Tampa School of Real Estate to help keep you on track, to help keep you in the important information, and to help keep you moving closer towards building your real estate career, getting it off the ground, and being able to go out there to join a broker, to activate your license, and start earning commissions. All of that is possible and so much more. But to get started, you need to enroll. So enroll today. Take advantage of the special offer we have on this on-demand pre-licensing course. You'll have instant access. As soon as you enroll, you'll get an email with information to log into your course online. So you get logged in and start completing your course today. You don't have to wait until the class starts. The class is already there waiting for you. So take action today and let's start building your real estate empire. Have you been wanting to get your real estate license?